Of course, at this point, we switch gears to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the government has conveyed its disappointment at the European Union's unexpected decision to withdraw its electoral observation mission from the country. And of course, DR Congo is set to hold presidential and parliamentary elections on the 20th of December, with 23 candidates running for president amidst a tense political climate. Now, the announcement was made by the state-run news agency, revealing that the cancellation of the observer mission occurred during the ongoing discussions about the deployment of the European Union team. In an official statement, the DR Congo government affirmed its decision to conduct the upcoming elections with utmost transparency, inclusiveness, and freedom. Now, between 80 to 100 EU observers were due to be deployed to monitor the general elections. And of course, joining me right now to make sense of all of this development is Ambassador Eddie Musoke Daniel, former head of communications and youth affairs, presidential strategic advisor, State House DRC, and also Sam Wezezo, of course, Mahamudi, a political analyst, joining from Nairobi, Kenya. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having us. Central News and Central TV.
All right, great. I'd like to start off with you, Eddie. I mean, how significant will you say this particular EU observer mission is to the country's electoral process?
I mean, we know from the history that African elections have issues of manipulations, and those in power tend to manipulate the elections, or it's normally there are allegations that they always manipulate elections in their favor. So having the African Union observers or the European Union observer of the US or the US observers, although it has been said it's also a manipulation or of a continuity of the involvement of the West into the African affairs. However, it has been so important, to bring electoral process in countries like DRC, where we've just witnessed the first pacific transition of power in a peaceful transition of power back in 2018. So this is a matter of huge importance, and I still support, though it is very controversial. It has, of course, a lot of up and downs, but I still support the fact that they should have independent observers, especially for this particular election, being the first election held after 18 years of Joseph Kabila, and with Tshisekedi now being the president and having been in the opposition for quite some time. So it's quite very important.
All right, I'd like to go to Sam right now. Now, the DR Congo government actually affirmed its dedication to conducting the upcoming elections with utmost transparency, inclusiveness, and of course, freedom. Now, let's look at this particular statement by the government with what we are seeing on ground. We understand that the political climate, about 20 candidates running or jostling for a particular office, and we know that it's pretty tense. And also given the previous antecedents of the country, is this statement by the government a reflection of their true intentions or the realities on ground?
Well, thank you so much for the space. All I can say right now is that I mean, the elections that we are seeing currently in the DRC, the ones that our commission, our electoral commission is organizing together with the regime, it's facing tremendous challenges in organizing this, general elections. These include issues with logistics, infrastructure, and political instability, as you just mentioned earlier. And we are all witnessing most probably the poorest, elections that are going to happen in the next probably two weeks. So I think they don't care about the outcome as long as the elections are there and people choose to actually vote whoever is going to become the president. And the news to me actually comes with no surprise, simply because for a huge country like the DRC with more than 26 provinces, and of course, this has to include the diaspora, which is France, South Africa, the United States, and Canada. Let me not forget to mention Belgium. So, well, for now, honestly speaking, it's hard to tell the outcome, but they're really determined to actually make sure the elections happen. And as Mr. Eddy says, we are all hoping to actually see these elections to happen simply because we are tired of, going through the crisis, political crisis, and of course, dialogues and all this kind of stuff. Because the country needs to develop, we need to move forward. That's all I can say for now. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to go back to you, Eddie. Now, the European Union actually did disclose that it had to withdraw its election observation team due to the inability to secure authorization for the deployment of essential communication equipment. I mean, if this is anything to go by in terms of their claim, why do you think this is?
I mean, it is quite clear. We will not take any side either from the European Union or from the government, but it is quite clear that there's a lot of issues that are coming up with this. The main reason that have been cited by the European Union is the insecurity in most part of the region, especially in the eastern DRC, and of course the reason that you say the deployment of communication materials. However, the European Union observation mission is quite important because at this particular level, the people in power right now are those who are in the opposition, especially through the family, the father, and now himself. They were in opposition for over 32 years. And in 2018, the opposition then was swearing only on the presence of the opposition. Right now, they are citing issues of independence and interference. In 2018, President Tshisekedi, then in opposition, were not talking about interference in terms of independence and democracy, but today they are citing independence and interference. So it's quite what we say, deux poids deux mesures. It's like it's okay when it fits them. But I think the opposition with Moise Katumbi, Martin Fayulu, and all the other opposition big guys are talking about the plan, the clear plan for the government, the DRC government, to rig the elections. And for me, it is quite clear with the statement of the government. It is quite clear that there is something that is being planned that I cannot say what it is because I'm not part of the government, and so I cannot really say.
So are you saying that I mean the statement? Sorry, are you inferring that of course a statement put by the government saying that they would ensure that this election is done with utmost transparency, inclusiveness, and freedom can actually be contested?
Of course, we are seeing the DRC constitution is very clear on the matter of how you treat presidential candidates during elections, the fairness in terms of security, the access to all sites and public sites or private sites for their campaigns, which is not happening right now. The president, first of all, is getting all the favor. But we can see some presidential candidates have for example, the Moise Katumbi, their planes were not authorized. Some of their planes are not authorized to land in the DRC. There are places where their political parties' offices are being vandalized, and people are not having access to sites to the governors and the mayors because of some interference. So little can I say that there is fairness in whatever is happening right now. However, it is a matter of seeing what is happening, what is going to happen next. But I can tell with what is developing right now in the DRC, the government should act accordingly. If they are talking about fairness and freedom, then they should reflect that, especially that this is an incumbent government. It is not a government as an outgoing government. It's a government that is there and they are still in power and they are seeking for re-election. So they should be swearing on the matters of transparency, and they should play the example. Some candidates have not gotten, for example, enough security for places where they're going. So there's quite a lot that is going on. But I can say it is the efforts are better than 2018. We've not seen a lot of interference from the Electoral Commission of the Supreme Court, what they call the Constitutional Court, but which is something to applaud. But I can say they can do better than that. Especially, yeah, like I can say the national media, RTNC, it's just covering the campaigns of the president and not allowing other candidates to do their campaigns. So right. Those are few examples that I can cite to say already there are signs of interference and manipulation from the government, which they should stop, so that whoever is the winner after 20th of December, they must not be they must not be contested, because with whatever is happening already in the Katanga region and the Kasai region, where it is about tribal people are now taking and everything, it is very risky. We might have a very violent electoral process in the DRC, and no one really is praying for that.
I mean, you've really said some really spiky things right now, and of course, you've raised some really pivotal issues. But I would like to go to Sam. Sam, what do you think will be the fallout of this particular election should the European Union, at the end of the day, not send its observation mission to the country? Does that in any way water down the credibility of the process?
Absolutely. I mean, I wish that wasn't the case, but it really is, because if I go back in time, back in 2006, 2011, when Kabila was our former president, Joseph Kabila, was running against Tshisekedi, the father, and also Jean-Pierre Bemba. I mean, people always tend to, go to the observers from the European Union and mostly the United States. But seeing them withdrawing from this process, I mean, it's actually brings concerns, simply because it's really hard to tell what's going to happen. And also, even if the Senko, which is a religious, organization that also will be part of the process, I think people won't, trust them as much as possible, because the regime currently, they have a conflict. Also, we always see them together, trying to support the opposition. So seeing the AU actually withdrawing, who's going to be next? That's the question I'm actually asking myself. And also, when you look at the whole process, honestly speaking, there must be something cooking up behind the doors, because we don't really know. People are really still skeptical to see to actually say that either the election are going to happen or not, because December is right here. We are counting maybe 19 days and stuff. So it really, it brings a lot of questions. So we hope everything is going to be in place, and we're going to have very peaceful and inclusive elections. But transparency at this level, people are starting to question it.
Now, just quickly before I let you go, still staying with you, of course, Sam, what do you see happening post-elections?
Well, in one word, I'm seeing contestations. That's all I'm saying, because you can tell that the opposition, they are really invested. They are doing as much as they can to win the elections, and the regime, you can tell that their organization is very poor. They are facing tremendous challenges. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen in January 2024, but all I'm seeing in one word, as I said, contestation. I'm seeing a lot of contest from the opposition, because I can say, I mean, I don't know if I can confirm it right now, but it seems like the Electoral Commission and the configuration of this whole process is actually in favor of the current regime.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for, of course, making our time to be on the program. Ambassador Eddie Musoke Daniel And of course, joining me, the former head of Communications and Youth Affairs Presidential Strategic Advisor, State House, DRC, and also Sam Wezezo Mahamudi, a political analyst from Nairobi, Kenya. Gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for your time.